Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, a good live look outside right now, and it is pretty chilly out there. It got pretty cold pretty quick, and this time last week we were setting records, so we're about 60 degrees cooler than we were this time last week. But by this weekend, with Valentine's Day only being about 1 day away, we'll be back up into those 70s. But every day we hit those 70s, we're going to drop back down into those freezing levels. Now, the temperatures over the last 24 hours keeping us in those 40s. We warmed up into those 50s. That's where we saw those thunderstorms make their way through. And then all day we fought with those winds from the north as we quickly cooled off down into those 30s. And we're going to drop about 10 more degrees down into those 20s. And that's where we're going to level out. Some people are already there, 34 in San Angelo. Everybody else in a combination of 40s, those mid to lower 30s across the entire area. But you can see where the cold air is sliding in. 25 in Sterling City, 40 down there in Junction, still 15 degrees across the entire Concho Valley and in the direction that we want. Now we're seeing a lot more of this cold air make its way in, and you know there's a whole lot of winter weather on its way off towards the north, but off towards the east around Alabama and Mississippi, they've seen about 5 tornadoes already, and it's pulling all this moisture with it. Dew points are down there in those 20s up into those 30s, while the humidity indices are hovering around that 80% mark. Now tomorrow we're on the lookout for a frosty morning, and some of this low cloud cover could turn into some light icing, but the instability is on its way out now. As we see more of it make its way in by the weekend, we're going to see some of that prefrontal warming push us up into the 70s before more cold air makes its way in. Upper level patterns are going to show you where the cold air is going to slide in by this weekend. Then as we make our way into that third week of February, President's Day or so, we're going to watch more cold air try to fight its way in somewhere around the Great Lakes region instead. And then look off towards the west coast, you start to see some more of these smaller waves. So we're going to see more up and down temperatures in that close sort of range of temperatures. Now, the water vapor imagery showing you where the cold air is sliding in, and this monster of a storm is still causing more problems off towards Alabama. Off the west coast, you know that's going to be a ginormous winter storm as it makes its way onshore. Now, severe weather outlook has slid off in towards Alabama. We take you down to the surface. They're still seeing a whole lot of tornado watches and warnings across this entire area. Over the break, was watching a whole lot of storm chasers in that area as they dealt with about 5 or 6 tornadoes across Hattiesburg. Up towards the north, they're still dealing with all those winter weather alerts and warnings, and you know there's a whole lot of snow on its way down here in the Concho Valley, dealing with those below freezing temperatures. Futurecast is going to show you where the winter weather is making its way off towards the east and then making its way onshore over the west. Now, we're going to pull a whole lot more moisture up from the Gulf Coast region, keep it around the Concho Valley all weekend, and then it's going to push off towards the east, and then you see how severe it gets off towards the west. That winter weather is going to make its way down to the Panhandle, run out of energy, and then just turn into cold air as it gets here. So tonight, down into the 20s. If you have to go outside, please bundle up. People, pets, plants, and pipes. Brian, I had trouble getting it out there. Then tomorrow, only up into the 40s, looking like a frosty morning. It's a pretty chilly day, then right back down into the freezing. After that, we're on the warm-up as we make our way into Friday. We're going to be up into those 60s. By Saturday, into those 70s. But here comes that cold weather again as we get down below those freezing temperatures. By Sunday, in those 50s. President's Day in those 60s. Tuesday in those 70s. Then back down below freezing as we still see those temperatures hover around those 40s. Stay tuned. One more break. You're watching KSAN News on 10.